Okay, let's be honest here. First of all, one could argue that Obama resonated more because the people chose him to be the Democratic nominee for the presidency of the United States of America, as opposed to somebody backdooring their way into that position. Let's just be honest about it. You had Biden.
Right.
I know that you supported Biden. Obviously, you spoke about his mental acuity and all of that other stuff, but we all saw what we saw. Before the debate on June 27th, when the debate happened, and by the time that was exposed, you then waited 3 weeks after that before he decided to walk away, but it was too late for anybody else to get in. So Kamala Harris, who didn't resonate during the primaries in 2020, couldn't even get to Iowa, suddenly is the Democratic nominee. And then then you roll up at the convention in Chicago, and everybody's like, she's a rock star. So it was like, wait a minute, how'd that happen? How'd that happen? I don't know how that happened. So you're looking at all of those things and you're saying, yes, I voted for her. A lot of people voted for her. But in the end, we end up feeling like damn fools because we supported it. We fell for the okie doke, as they say. You know she did. If you had a primary, the likelihood is that she would not have been the Democratic nominee. And you can't say that about Trump and his side. You can't. Let's go through the process. Let's arrest somebody. Let's let them out. Let's put them back out on the streets. Oh, let's make sure they have due process. You think somebody wants to hear about due process with somebody that's in this country illegally? I want to hear that. You in the country illegally. Hell with your process. Yeah. You got the audacity to admit a crime after you got here illegally?
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we're going to watch Stephen A. Smith. I know this guy is very confusing. Completely understand. You never know what you're going to get. But in this video, he's going to destroy this Democrat politician for voting against the Laken Riley bill that just passed the Congress. So let's not waste any time at all and get straight into this video because it is highly, highly entertaining.
And okay, so let's talk about the border one. Okay. Because ICE is now detaining people. This has a lot of people concerned. The Laken Riley Act, I'm sure you voted on that. I think you voted no. Okay, but it did pass with 46 Democrats in the House voted for it. And in the Senate, it passed 64 to 35, so I think about 12 Democrats there. This is a law that says that ICE can detain any illegal who is charged, arrested, or convicted of a crime, not merely an accusation, so don't get excited, Karens.
I mean, the fact that they're illegal should be enough for them to detain them. Why do they need to be convicted of a crime? It should just, you're here illegally and you get caught, ICE should be able to detain you, and it should stop right there. Convicted of a crime or not. This is crazy.
Has to be charged, arrested, or convicted. Now, Ruben Gallego, who we've had on the show a number of times, and I think has bigger ambitions, that he's now the senator from Arizona, he voted for it. He said, I'm bringing the perspective of working-class Latinos from Arizona. That perspective, I think, has been missing. And he talks about people who are largely out of touch with where your average Latino is. It sounds like he's calling out people like you who voted no.
I like Ruben. There are a lot of Latino. I do. I think you've had a hell of a race. But there are a lot of Latino leaders who also voted no. Here's the basic thing in this country. If you're convicted of a sex offense, of a violent offense, absolutely you should be deported. But if you're just arrested, we are a country which we have due process, and you should have a trial. I think that's a reasonable position. I think most people can agree also that, yes, let's deport convicted felons, convicted criminals, but let's not deport our nannies and students or dental hygienists who've been living here for years and have kids in communities. We can have a common sense position on this.
It doesn't make any sense. Why? I just don't understand that. Like, if you've been here for over 10 years and you haven't done the proper paperwork to become a permanent or an American citizen, I mean, I don't get that. I really, really don't understand why they don't take that process. I understand it takes a long time, but if you're here illegally, if you're going through the legal asylum process, that's different. But if you just jump the border and you've been here for 10 years, oh my gosh, that's crazy to me. It's really mind-blowing.
I get that. That makes a lot of sense, but there's a flip side. So for example, if I remember correctly, based on my research, in Sacramento in 2023, there was a law passed in terms of empowering the governor of California to really force environmentalists and the courts to move quickly, 270 days, if I remember correctly, something along those lines. Why do I bring something like that up with a subject like this? Because here in your state, they can drag their feet and prolong certain things. And as a result of that, things don't get done nearly as fast as they should. When we're talking about immigration and we're talking about immigrants who may be criminals, you're talking about them being arrested. Let's have due process. But if it takes too damn long to address it, that pisses people off. That's one of the problems that exist in this country. You're looking at stuff and you're like, okay, you arrested him. Was he in jail? All right, you let him out. Recidivism is an issue in this country. You let somebody, you arrest them, you're letting them out the same day, stuff like that. You got law enforcement officials that are getting discouraged because they're looking at it and they're saying, wait a minute, why are we out here risking our life and taking care of this stuff when y'all are just letting people out? You got to handle business. And a lot of times we hear about the red tape and all of that stuff, and you're talking about a candidate right now who now happens to be the president of the United States now. He's sitting up there and he's talking about expediting the process at every turn. Let's just get stuff done. Let's just get it done. Now, I don't know if I trust that. I don't blame you for not trusting it. But we have to understand the American people are saying, you know what, enough's enough. We've tried it that way. We've been doing it that way for decades. We sick of y'all. Let's wait. Let's go through the process. Let's arrest somebody. Let's let them out. Let's put them back out on the streets. Oh, let's make sure they have due process. You think somebody wants to hear about due process with somebody that's in this country illegally? They want to hear that. You in the country illegally. Hell with your process. Yeah. You got the audacity to admit a crime after you got here illegally? We ain't trying to hear that. We ain't trying to hear that. So they're saying, wait a minute, what are you going to do about it? Where is the common sense in that?
I get that, but that's what makes America different than every other country. We have a constitution. We give people rights. We don't just say, let's conveniently
we give
ignore.
citizens rights.
We give every person here rights on basic due process.
Like maybe that's what
So what's the point of being a citizen then? Like, what's the point?
people are saying.
Under the Constitution.
They're saying they want the citizens to have the rights.
Were you at the? You weren't at the inauguration.
I went to the inauguration.
You did. Good
I did. I did.
Okay, all right.
The inauguration.
I didn't even watch it.
Neither did I.
You know, and the ratings were way down. I think not until since 2013.
Sure, if you did ask Trump about it, it was the biggest audience ever.
Let me just say one other thing.
Everybody watched.
Everybody did not watch.
You know, one of the things people like about Donald Trump is he stands on his convictions. When have you heard Democrats saying vast majority of immigrants in this country contribute to this country? They don't commit crimes.
Yes.
They are law-abiding. They're patriotic. Our party needs to stop being scared of our own shadows, stand up for what immigrants have actually contributed. You know what we should have done? Kamala Harris should have gone to Springfield. The day that Trump was doing that garbage about their eating the dogs and cats, she should have stood there in Springfield meeting with the Haitian immigrants who are contributing to this country. We will win when we stand on strength of our values.
Well, I
don't know. I'm getting from the applause, he's more popular than you. I'm just saying. I'm just saying what he's saying is getting a big thing, and you're getting like, yeah, that's true.
What you said
I don't know.
sounds beautiful. Here's the problem. We're a couple of minutes removed from talking about the senator from Arizona. And y'all talked about Rubin, and y'all talked about the position that he took. One could easily argue is that's the kind of Democrat people are looking for. That Democrat listened to the people in his state instead of saying, you elected me, to hell with what you want, listen to me do what the party wants me to do. He is following, he said the citizens of Arizona said this to him, and that is why he voted that way. A guy like that will get a Democrat back in office.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and stop it right there. And once again, this is the reason that I like watching Stephen A. clips, because you're never going to know what you're going to get. Sometimes he makes sense, sometimes he does not. But when it comes down to this issue, I 100% agree with him. He's right. Nobody is trying to hear that these people should have due process and get the same rights as American citizens when they came into this country illegally. What's the point of being a citizen, right? It doesn't make any sense at all. And these Democrats always tend to have this argument. It's just never in good faith, because just like you heard him here, oh, well, immigrants contribute a lot to this country. Yes, we know that. But there's a huge difference between illegal immigrants and legal immigrants. And so they tend to lump everybody up into the same category of the people that we're talking about when we say illegal immigrants, people that did not go through the port of entry. They came in through jumping a border or however they got in here, without going through the legal process, because there is already a legal process for you to do that. Hundreds of people do that every single year. So we're talking about the people that decided to just skip over the whole process and cut the line and come into this country illegally. Those are two different groups of people, and that's why nobody takes these Democrats seriously, is that they're not having this argument in good faith whatsoever. And so nobody's trying to hear, oh, that whole due process. You already committed a crime when you came into this country to begin with. Your first act of coming into this country was a crime. So you shouldn't have to commit another crime for you to have to get deported or be convicted or whatever the process is. It's just a silly argument. And once again, Stephen is when he said that these Democrat politicians are not listening to the people. That's the problem here. Most of these Democrat politicians, especially the modern day Democrat politicians, these progressive Democrats, are activists. So they're getting into these positions of power to go and push their own ideas, their own ideology, instead of doing what the people tell them to do. And so that's the biggest disconnect that these people have, is that, bro, you're out there running as just a far leftist, progressive activist, pushing your far left ideologies and literally dismissing what the people want you to do. And so Stephen A., he's right. I hate to admit it, but he voted for Kamala Harris. After saying all of these things, this guy still ended up voting for Kamala Harris. So it just never makes any sense to me, man. I don't get it. Him, Charlemagne, Bill Maher, all of these people, man, they seen the writing on the wall, and they still just, I mean, you know, they're proud of voting for Kamala Harris. This is embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed the content. Hit the like button down below if you did, and if you are brand new, consider hitting subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.